Today is probably one of the most ambitious pool pond videos I have ever made. And we have a ton of stuff in store for you. First of all, we've got that awesome underwater footage that you guys know and love, but we've also got some crazy feeding footage with all kinds of different things, and you're not going to want to miss that. But if you were hoping for some fishing, don't worry, we've also got our kayak that we're going to take out and target a brand new species that I've never caught before. We've also got some other species of fish, like all kinds of different species of fish that we're going to catch, so don't worry, you'll get a ton of variety in this video. I also got some awesome wildlife footage, as well as some fish trapping, and trapping another creature that slipped away from us in the past. I also took a whole lot of your guys' suggestions and put them in the pool pond, as well as naming all of these fish from your suggestions. We've got all that in store for you and more today on Pool Pond Season 2, Episode 3. Now, before we talk about all the new stuff that we added to the pool pond, I want to show you guys something crazy that I found in the cave. For this, we're going to have to go underwater and skirt around all these fish to get a good look at the cave's new inhabitant. And trust me, this thing took me back to my childhood. That's right, deep in the cave was Donatello from Raid Shadow Legends. That's right, they've added in the Ninja Turtles, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo, as well as April O'Neil and Shredder. And if you're like me and grew up watching the Ninja Turtles, this is a collaboration you do not want to miss. All you gotta do to unlock Michelangelo is download the game with my link and log in for 7 days starting August 21st. It's that easy. You can also fuse Donatello and summon Leonardo, Raphael, April, and Shredder through this limited time event. Personally, Shredder has to be one of the most iconic villain designs from my childhood, so being able to collect him as a champion is awesome. But not only that, you can also bring your champions in to challenge him and earn exclusive gear. Collect all 6 characters and you'll even get a special bonus reward. But if you feel like you waited too long to join in, don't worry, you're going to get some exclusive rewards if you use my link in the description down below. Using my link in the description down below, new players immediately get a huge starter pack, including an epic champion, Tayrel from the High Elves faction. Not only that, you get a second freebie starter pack after you reach level 15 with the epic champion, Rector Drath. And if you're a brand new player, you can use the codes TreeHugger, Get Alice, Desert Queen, Demon Slayer, or Monkey King to choose one legendary hero. Don't forget to use my link, and let's get right back to the video. Now, when we ended the last pool pond video, the fish were comfortable enough to eat out of my hand, but now they're comfortable enough to really swim all around me, and they kind of expect food from me now, which is a good thing, but also a little bit of a bad thing. Because that means now the fish think I'm made of food, which leads to them biting me constantly, and this was my first realization that walking in here with shorts was not going to be a fun experience. They're getting my toes. They're getting my toes. Oh my gosh. They were biting me like piranhas, so I had to hide up on the ladder to get away from them and take some nice video of them. Sadly, I did stir up the water a little bit, so it's a bit cloudy. But even while standing up on the ladder, I wasn't safe because they started biting my fingers instead. All those little thumps are them biting on my fingers and the camera. This little sneaky red spot in the bottom was one of the biggest culprits. He liked to sneak up around me and get my thumb while I was paying attention to the other fish, so I had to be extra alert around him. And you can see right here, he goes like he's going to swim away and then darts back to try and get my thumb before I pull my hand out the water. In the last video, I said the red spots were my favorite, but they're starting to wear me down a little bit to where they're not. So I really want to get to the bass, but my goodness, these guys just keep attacking my toes. No, get away, get away, get away! I hoped that by submerging my entire body, they'd be a little bit more intimidated and stay away from me, but that was not the case, and I was shooing them off of me like little roaches. Get away! Get away from my toes! Get away from my toes, bro! Come on, come on! And after a couple dozen bites, I decided to just retreat out to the ladder. Ow! They keep tearing up my legs. I'm trying to get footage of the bass. Oh my gosh, the little piranhas. But I wasn't going to let a bunch of fish scare me out the water, so I went back in for one final time. Get away, get away, get away, get away. But it didn't matter how much I tried to scare them away, they're always right back there at my legs trying to get my leg hair. I tried everything I could to try and scare these guys away, but they were not budging, so I decided to just give up and try to film everything even though they're sitting there biting me. But all my screaming and flailing around stirred up the water pretty bad, so the footage isn't nearly as clear as it will be later on in the video. But even with the cloudy water, these fish look stunning. They might have been very annoying and kept biting me, but man, were they cool to look at. I wasn't able to get any footage of the bass because these bluegill kept coming around me and the bass were a little too scared of my movements, but you can see that the driftwood is coated in algae now and these plants are doing great. Okay, so we have a little bit of a problem now, and that problem is these fish think I am made of food. Every time I get in there, those deadgum red spots and bluegill attack my leg hair and toes like viciously over and over again like little piranha, and there's nothing I can do about it. I think I just got to start walking in here with pants on or something because my goodness, they're ferocious. I had originally come in to feed them a worm, but they all started attacking my legs, so I just threw the worm to them so they go after that, but they didn't stop attacking my legs. I may have underestimated the aggression level of these bluegill and sunfish. Oh my goodness. If I was going to get any good footage, I need to let all of this settle and then come back out here with some pants on. That way they can't bite my legs. So that's exactly what we did, and it was crazy. So I came out here to check on things, and oh my goodness, this water is crystal clear. Look at all of that. Oh my gosh. Looks like the gang's all here. Little red spots ready to nibble my toes. The fish are all following me because they think I'm going to feed them. But I don't have my worms with me right now. But man, look at the pretty highlights on the tip of this red spot right here. That's just beautiful, beautiful fish. They're just super aggressive. Like they're probably gonna try and come up and grab my finger. I wonder if I could get them to come up and eat like a grasshopper or something out of the water. All right, this is out of the water. Oh my gosh, they're gonna do it. It's out of the water, above the surface. Oh, he did it. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do that in slow-mo. That was crazy. We got us a little katydid right here. We're gonna see if the fish will eat this. And just like that, I discovered my new favorite type of footage, slow-mo fish feeding footage. I don't know if that was as cool to you guys as it was to me, but I had to do it a few times just to see it again and again. But maybe that was a mistake because now the fish were in heavy duty feeding mode and they saw my finger as a grasshopper. And they were stopping at nothing to get my thumb. And man, these sunfish love being on camera. They'll swim all the way across from the other side of the pool just to get a look and see if I have any food for them. With the water super clear, it's a perfect chance to get in the water with these fish and get some awesome underwater footage. And this time I made sure to wear socks and pants so they couldn't bite my toes or my leg hair. But that didn't stop the red spot from trying to get my thumb. When it comes to the fish names, we held a vote for the turtle and the 3 bass, and the results are finally in. I could only choose a few to put in the vote because there were over 166 different name suggestions, so the final ones are Storm, Hog, and Pickle. Now you're about to see all 3 swim across the screen, and it's really hard to tell them apart without having a really close look at them, but the slightly bigger one is Hog, the slightly smaller one is Storm, and the one with the dots on his head is Pickle. Now sadly, one of them did pass away, but we'll get to that in a little bit. First, let's talk about the turtle. The name that won the turtle vote was actually Bowser, but I'm going to override that and name him Ninja the Turtle because I have not seen this guy in weeks. Well, I should say I haven't seen him on camera. I've watched him a couple times dip into the water, so I know he's still in here, but wherever this guy is hiding, he is a champ because I cannot ever find him and get him on camera. As soon as I pull the camera out, he is gone and I don't see him again. At this point, it seems like the ecosystem is fairly balanced. I haven't had any big algae blooms, and this water has been beautiful. And aside from the sediment that I kick up whenever I'm walking around filming, the water stays crystal clear 24/7. On top of the beautiful water, the bait fish have also been doing really well, even reproducing. I've seen tons of little tiny fry as well as some pregnant adults, so that's an awesome sight to see. But since we're going to be adding more fish in this video, we also need to add more plants, which these plants have been doing really well. You can see this hornwort is also covered in algae, so it's kind of dual purpose, algae and hornwort, but it's providing lots of oxygen and cover for these fish. The great thing about having all these different surfaces is it allows plenty of spaces for that algae to grow instead of just staying suspended in the water column. So as you can see, all this driftwood is covered completely with algae, and so are the plants and plant pots. Over here is this little crate, and this crate is where the turtle loves to go in and hide sometimes. I've not been able to spot him just yet. I think he hides up in the top part of it to get away from me, but it's absolutely covered in this algae, which is actually really good for water filtration as well, so I'm not too worried about that. But the cave is mostly empty, so we want to add a whole bunch of awesome stuff to that to make it a little more inviting for these fish. But I noticed that Storm was over to the side watching me the whole time and was really comfortable with me, which is why it made the next thing that happened so heartbreaking. You see, we had a big rainstorm that came through, and when I went out to feed the fish the next day, the entire shade cloth was laying in the water, and the bass must have jumped over the lip of it and landed on the other side, and the water was just too shallow to support him, and sadly he passed away. On top of that, the big crappie that we caught didn't make it. I'm not sure what happened to him. I just found him floating one day. None of the other fish have died. We still have the small crappie, which you can see in the background right there. I don't know what happened. As far as I could tell, he just all of a sudden died. But I'm planning on replacing them with some even cooler creatures that we're going to catch later on in this video. For now, I wanted to see if these fish would eat a brand new food source. Alright, it's late in the evening, but we have some fish food pellets. And oh my gosh, this is the first time ever feeding them fish food pellets. But it seems like, oh, maybe they don't like them. Let's see. Might take them a minute to realize that it's food. But once they do, they're gonna gobble it all up. I also have some shiners here. And these are for the bass. Oh man, I couldn't see it. They went under the lily pads. Dang. Well, the bass got him. He's way back there, but they went underneath the lily pads, so I couldn't see him. All right, let's try again. Bass. Oh, oh. Where'd he go? Oh, here he is. Here he is. Oh man, those bass are chasing it down. Well, I waited too late into the evening, so the fish aren't quite as active or as hungry. And I just kind of fed them a whole bunch before. So we'll have to come back out tomorrow and feed them again. Make sure that they eat this. Oh, that guy ate one. And he spit it back out. If you like these fish feedings, make sure you have your notifications turned on, because I do live streams out here every now and then feeding these fish, and you don't want to miss out on that. The next morning, I came back out to feed the fish one last time and to try and get a look around at everything to see what I need to get for improvements. This little red spot ate the last shiner, and it was time for me to get in the water with these fish to really see what needs work. As you can see here, we don't have to worry too much about water clarity. This water is so clear you can see the dots right on Pickle's head, and you'll see hog come in right here at the bottom. So the bass are doing good, the bluegill, the red spots, all the fish are doing super well now. Even the plants right here, you can see all the roots are starting to expand out. This means we have finally reached a perfect balance, but if we're going to add more fish, we also need to add more cover and more plants. Here you can see Pickle again, you can see all the spots, and he even let me brush up against him. But here's our problem. First off, this cave feels pretty empty. There's not many plants around it. I just got bit by a fish right there. Sorry for the jump. But anyways, we're going to work on getting some plants for this cave and for the other rock cave, which the fish ended up somehow collapsing. And this right here is a little goggle eye that we caught in our Microsoft Plastic video. If you haven't seen that, make sure you go and check it out. I'm going to start by repairing this cave, and then I'm going to go out when I do my fishing and get some more plants to put around here. One of you guys said that the fish probably don't feel safe there, so maybe by adding some plants, that'll give them a little bit more of a safe haven that they're more comfortable sitting in. Now, when it comes to the middle section, I don't want to change anything because I think it's perfect. All the roots, the driftwood, the plants, everything comes together really well. The fish have plenty of space to swim around, but also plenty of cover to hide in and feel very comfortable. The cattails have even spread out roots that are coming out of the pots and providing even more structure and places for fish to lay their eggs. I can't wait until I see the first generation of fish that were born in the pool pond, aside from the minnows. And here we see the bass yet again. These guys are beautiful, and seeing them in this crystal clear water is awesome. But I think the biggest shock that I had was finding the minnows still alive. Somehow these guys have evaded predators for this long, and they're continuing to thrive. Also, the lily pads that we've added are doing super well, and they've started to branch out a whole lot. The second set of lily pads hasn't quite reached the surface yet, but Pickle doesn't mind. He loves hanging around it. Now I could show you guys hours and hours of underwater footage, but instead I think I'm going to post a whole bunch of YouTube shorts in the coming weeks, so make sure you check those out if you want to see more little clips of underwater stuff. I've already put a whole lot of clips of me feeding the fish, so if you want to check those out, go check out my YouTube shorts. We're getting really far into the video already, and we haven't even added a new fish yet. Now the fish I'm about to target is one that I didn't even know we had any native species of, and that is pike. Well, it's actually a species of pickerel, not pike, but close enough. Pike wouldn't survive down here in the Louisiana heat, Pickerel are one of the rarest fish in Louisiana, so if we want to catch one, we're going to have to go to a ton of different places. So let's hit the road now. All right, today I'm after a very specific fish. A lot of people have asked me to add pike to the pool pond. The problem is we don't really have any pike here in Louisiana, and our water is way too hot to sustain them in the pool pond. So instead, I'm after something called either a chain pickerel or a grass pickerel. The problem is I have never once caught one of those fish, and I don't know of anyone around here who has caught one or a place to go and target them. So we're kind of just going to try and find as many of these like creek-like areas like this that have a lot of cover and just see if maybe we can catch something. Right now we're using a little rooster tail. Oh! Well, that's not what we're after, but that is a beautiful long-ear sunfish. All right, we have a lot of sunfish already, so I'm not going to keep this guy. We are really after one of those types of pickerel. So we're going to release him back. That is good, though. We're using this thing. I've heard that the spinners are a favorite among those pickerel, and that ultralight is usually how people catch them. But we've got our task set out in front of us, and I'm going to be honest, I do not know if I'm going to be able to catch one before it's time for this video to come out. So I'm going to be scrambling as many different lures as I can, as many different locations as I can to try and catch a pickerel. And if we can't catch one in this video, I just got hit by another bluegill. If I can't catch a pickerel in this video, then the next one, maybe that's going to be the only thing we go after. Got another hit. Seems like the bluegill are everywhere. I got another hit. But I'm not after those bluegill and sunfish. I am after a pickerel. See, this kind of stuff is what I think would have the best success rate. Something like this that's real thin, plenty of ambush spots, lots of cover, also a lot of bluegill and sunfish. Come on. There we go, got something. Ah, pretty one again. I believe that's a long-ear sunfish, but not what we're after. Beautiful, beautiful fish. He's got a little red there, but not what we're after at all. There's just so many sunfish over here, and I can see him come up and smack it like that. They're hitting it left and right. There we go. How did this one even bite it? I mean, don't get me wrong, these are beautiful fish. Look at the coloration on these guys, but this is not what I'm after. I think if we can find one, we'll catch it. That's just gonna be the problem, is actually finding it. Okay, so there's plenty of gar. Look, that's another one. That one just got hooked. That one got hooked. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't want the gar, but they are drawn to this thing like crazy. There's another one. Just a little, looks like a short-nosed gar right there. Okay, we got one. Well, never mind. I have another gar that just hit it. Oh, that's a bass. I thought it was another gar. Well, there's another fish. Ooh, chunky bass. Got a fat little belly on him. Again, we have plenty of bass. We do not need him. So we're gonna throw him back. Oh, sorry, buddy. I was trying to get him here in the deeper water. Ah, another gar. I think we got this one. I actually think we got him. We did. Okay. Well, I tell you what. We wanted a gar. I think he's a little bit big for what we want. So I think we're just gonna release him for sure. Okay, chill, chill. Now that right there makes things a little difficult when you're trying to unhook, because they have some gnarly teeth. Even these little tiny ones. All right, we got him off. Let's just kind of toss him. All right, we're not catching a pickerel here. It's nothing but gar and then sunfish, even bass. What was that? Oh, it hit it again. That felt like a decent thump. I think I'm just like going a little. Oh, got something. Got something. Ah, dang it. Well, it's a new species. I did say that. It's a bluegill. Oh. There he goes. Ah, that's not what I was after. That's not where I wanted to cast either. I mean, he hit it pretty much as soon as it hit the water. That was crazy. But I'm after a pickerel. I thought this would be the perfect spot. There we go. Dang it, another bluegill. Okay, another bluegill. We're just gonna have to pack it in. Nothing's biting here but the sunfish, the bass. I mean, everything's biting here, but there's no pickerel. Let me tell you, we've caught tons of fish. It's kind of starting to rain now. It's sprinkling right now, but it's probably gonna start pouring down in a second. So I probably need to get up out of here. There we go, something. Another bluegill. Well, this inline spinner is doing great at catching attention and catching fish. Beautiful bluegill. And it's starting to rain, so we're gonna pack things up here. Maybe I can go out somewhere else and find them. If I don't catch a chain pickerel by the end of this video, I need you guys to tell me where and how to catch them, because that's really what I want for the pool pond. But pike isn't the only new species we're after. We'd also love to catch an amphiuma, which is like an eel-looking amphibian with some crazy teeth. And we're going to be doing that by using a minnow trap baited with some fresh shrimp. In the first pool pond video, to catch an amphiuma, we actually used crawfish, but this time I figured shrimp is about the same and it's a whole lot cheaper. But while we wait on this trap to work, I'm also going to be going to the backyard pond to see if we can catch a good-sized bullhead catfish. All right, basically all we've got is a little piece of shrimp on a small hook that should be perfect size for a bullhead. Let's cast this thing out and see if we can catch us a fish. All right, we're gonna set this down and come back and hopefully have a fish. There's no way. We've only had this thing out for like 2 minutes and I've already got a bite. It feels good too, whatever it is. Jeez. If that's a bullhead, that's huge. Oh my gosh. Oh man. What in the world? Dude, hold on. I didn't even know I had catfish this big in the pond. I believe that's a blue cat, and it's not really what we're after. We're actually after, I mean, if we caught one smaller than this, that'd be great, but my goodness, he's huge. I don't think that's a bullhead. Oh my gosh. Look at that sucker. I can't even fit him in frame. I'm trying to reach as far forward as possible. We're gonna release this one. This is not what we're after. We're after something big enough to be in the pool pond without eating everything else. That's definitely the biggest fish that I have in this backyard pond, but we didn't catch anything else all night, so I went out to check the trap again to see if we had an amphiuma. Okay, this is insane. So I came out here. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see it. I came out here to check on the trap in the middle of the night, and there was literally an amphiuma smelling outside the trap trying to figure out how to get in. I don't know if y'all saw it. It was right there on that far side. I brought some more shrimp. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take this trap out and maybe switch it to the side to where it can come in a little bit easier. Oh, that was so crazy. It blended in so well. For a second there, I thought it was a crawfish or something climbing on it. Oh, that thing was stealthy. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put some new shrimp in it and kind of face it this way. That way it's easier for the amphiumas to get in. Oh, that was awesome. Okay, hopefully I didn't scare him off too bad. I'm gonna leave it like that since he was coming at it from the side. So now, if he comes at it from the bank, he'll get in, or if he comes at it from the side, he'll get in. Either way, he should get trapped. This is super, super encouraging. Last time, it took me like months to catch a stupid amphiuma. But now we've got one coming in. Hopefully we'll catch it tonight. I packed everything in for the night because tomorrow morning, we're gonna be waking up bright and early to do some kayak fishing to try and catch that pickerel. All right, guys, I know y'all are probably tired of seeing this place, but we're actually gonna be going way back out in some backwaters to see if we can get on some pickerel. The problem is, I've spoken to like 10 different fishermen and none of them really know where to go to catch pickerel. So we're kind of on our own here, but maybe, just maybe we'll be able to catch one. I'm really, really trying to, but it's been difficult. All right, we got our foldable kayak loaded up and ready to go. We've got a long trek ahead of us, so let's hit the water. So we're gonna basically try and get through all of this stuff and go and find some shallow, slow moving water, and that's usually where the pickerel hang out. So that's where we're after. So we've got a long, maybe half-mile trip. So we go ahead and fast forward to when we get there, and we'll hopefully get on a pickerel. Okay, we're starting to get into a better little territory. Only problem I'm realizing now is anywhere where the water's not moving fast, there's tons of this vegetation, which is good for the chain pickerel, but very bad for an exposed hook. So we're gonna try and find some little clearing that I can cast out a lure. But I am very, very happy with this location. We're just gonna have to find a good way to fish it. Deadgum. Probably gonna go with the white beetle spin now. It's only got one barb to worry about, so I think it won't get caught up quite as much. I mean, I still think it's gonna get caught up in the weeds, but I don't think it's gonna be nearly as bad. All right, that's what we're working with. Let's see if it works. Okay, so Houston, we have a problem. As far back as I can see, this is as open as it gets, which if you can tell in the water right here, there's nothing but plants everywhere. So even if this is a good spot for pickerel, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to fish it, at least not using the lures that I have. So this is not exactly ideal. When I looked on Google Maps, this was all, of course, open, but as you can tell, that plant, I mean, all the way to over there, that should all be water, and it is water, but it's covered in these plants. And that stuff, that's good plants, that's good cover, but my goodness, there's just nowhere for me to be able to fish. I bet if I was bluegill fishing and I had a bobber I could just sink in between those plants, I'd be tearing them up out here. But oh my gosh, it is gonna be really tough to be able to catch a fish out here. So we're gonna have to change tactics, maybe find a new location, but this is definitely not gonna work. But I do wanna gather some of these plants because these things are really pretty and they put off a lot of oxygen. There are little pieces of duckweed in there, but if there's any of that bad topwater stuff, I can always pull that out. I'm not putting this in the backyard pond. This is only going in the pool pond, and that way if it does try to get out of control, it's a lot easier to tame. I don't know if it was the weather or what, but I fished for a good 3 hours without getting so much as a bite, unless you were counting the ones I got from deer flies, in which case I was getting tons of those. I decided to turn around and go the opposite direction, fishing along the way without getting so much as a sight of a fish. But I did find this really cool frog, and maybe he gave me a little bit of luck because I found a new location that seemed very promising. Okay, this water is ultra shallow. Maybe we can catch something in here. We'll see. I see tons of mullet swimming around. But where there's mullet, there might also be predators. I don't think there's gonna be any massive predators, which is okay because the pickerel we're chasing after are probably gonna be pretty small. I need something. Just something to come out of here. This water's real clear. It's very slow moving. It kind of has all of those benchmarks for a good grass pickerel or chain pickerel spot. We're just gonna have to see if we can hit one. What on earth is that thing over there? Is that a bird? Yep, it sure is. Oh, you know what? That might be that same mama bird and the chicks that we saw a while back. They are growing up quick, man. We're gonna go ahead and head out that way and see if we can get a closer look at them if they don't fly away first, and maybe even fish some of this back spots. Oh, look at those beautiful birds. Where's the mama at? I think the mama might have took off for a swim real quick. But look at those pretty birds. Yep, there's the mama swimming. I believe they're called purple-nosed gallinules, something like that. And babies, where are they at? There they are. Pretty birds. They get like a rainbowish blue color, and they're really cool. They like to walk around on the lily pads. Okay, this water is packed. Like, I mean, absolutely packed with vegetation. So we're gonna have to fish this almost like a top water to make sure we stay above everything. We've only got like 3 or 4 inches of water to fish before it gets all grass, but maybe something's hiding in that grass, like a grass pickerel, and it'll come out and ambush it whenever it swims above it. But I mean, it has all of the markings for a good grass pickerel spot. Get off of that freaking line, come on. Got one tiny piece of grass, bruh. Get off, dude. Jeez. Sorry, chicks, I'm not trying to be too loud. Okay. Ooh, something big that was definitely not a mullet is swimming up ahead. Let's see if I can catch its attention. Ah, it's grass. Nothing but grass everywhere. There we go. Not seeing any bass, not seeing any... I really haven't even seen any gar back here. It's just been mullet that I've seen so far. Like that up ahead, that's mullet. That'll be in a big grinnell, bowfin, whatever you want to call it. Oh, dang, I was caught up in the weeds. Okay, well, dead gum. Gar, tiny gar. Oh, dang it. Maybe I'm being too loud. I'm being way too loud. See, every time I'm in the editing room, I'm like, man, I was not loud enough. You can barely hear me talk. And then I get out fishing, and I'm like, I gotta be quiet so I don't scare the fish. At this point, I was desperate to catch a fish, so I was hitting every single spot that I could find, trying any technique I could with all the different lures at my disposal, but I never got even a bite from a pickerel. But maybe it was the weather conditions, because I never even got bluegill to hit it, even when fishing around their beds. I tried a few different types of lures and presentations, but nothing was really attracting any attention. And like I said earlier, it was 3 full hours until this finally happened. All right, we got a creme spoiler shad. This is like a pearly white color. Kind of matches the bait fish that are normally around here. So hopefully we'll catch something with this, but man, it's been tough. We've been out here for over 3 hours now, and it has been pretty bad. The worst fishing I think I've ever had out here, especially for this time of day. I mean, if it was middle of the day, it'd be different, but early morning and nothing, that's crazy. At this point, I just wanted to catch any fish, so when I saw something chasing some shad over in the shallows, I was quick to investigate. There's something over there chasing bait fish. Might be a bass. Might be something else. Now, usually I see these fish before they attack, but this one came out of nowhere and absolutely smashed my lure. Ooh, it's a giant grinnell. Giant grinnell. Oh, not giant. Never mind. He's good size. Goodness. These guys are awesome to fight. But, oh, I got a net this time. And pliers. Ugh. See, I learned from my mistake last time. Oh, maybe he's going to jump into the boat. You want to jump again? You want to jump again? Jump into the boat? Come on. Oh, there we go. Oh, he's getting me slimy. Ooh. Well, we didn't get skunked. I have pliers this time. Okay. Let me show you guys the behemoth. It's not really a behemoth. Actually, a fairly small grinnell. Or not small. I mean, he's good, decent size. But this is probably not more than a 3 or 4 pounder. Good little fella. Puts up a good fight usually. This guy's a little bit more lazy than they usually are. I have been bit by one of these in a previous video. You know what? He might be a little over 3. He's not huge, but he's a good size, especially on those micro lures. But we're not keeping him to eat today. We're only keeping fish for the pool pond. So thank you so much. We are not skunked because of you. Now, if you guys didn't see the video where I caught the 9 pounder, y'all should go check that one out. But man, this one's still a fun catch. He's kind of calmed down now. We're gonna release him into the water. Oh, I was trying to get a video of it, but very weird angle whenever you're sitting in a kayak. Awesome. Okay, we didn't get skunked. Praise the Lord. Now let's try to catch a pickerel. Sadly, he did like shred my lure right here, but that's okay. I'll use this same spinner and maybe put on a different jig head or something. Man, he bent this thing up. All right, we kind of bent it back to shape, and we put this little thing that we had on earlier back on. Maybe we'll catch something, maybe not, I don't know. To me, this thing has better action than the spoiler shad does, like the actual swim bait part. So maybe this will work better. I am glad we just finally caught a fish. It's been 3 hours, but we are really needing something for the pool pond. For the next couple of hours, I focused very heavily on some backwater areas that had really clear water and plenty of vegetation, but I was never able to catch that pickerel that I was after. Luckily, I was able to catch another fish though, and we're going to be putting him in the pool pond. Got one. Got a fish. I don't know what it is. It looks like a bass. Yep, little tiny bass. I saw him come up and hit it. Oh, man. Beautiful, pretty little bass. But I don't think... You know what? Oh, ew, what is that? That's a little louse on him. Let me get that fish lice off. Look, I don't know if y'all guys can see that. It's a little parasite. Make sure he doesn't have any more on him. Nope, looks good. Well, we did lose one of the bass from the pool pond, so maybe this one will be the replacement for that one. As far as the name goes for this one, I'm thinking we name it Storm Jr. I stayed in this area fishing all this cover, but never saw anything until I saw another grinnell, and this one was not quite as aggressive as the first. I call him grinnell, some people call him bowfin, some people call him dogfish, cottonfish, mudfish. There's a million different names for him. But, oh, there he is. Sorry about the weird angle. I was trying to twist backwards and film and fish at the same time, and it wasn't really working too well. Oh, he's not aggressive. He is not. He must not be very hungry, because he has been watching it go by. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. Dadgummit. Dang it, and I got hung hung up on the grass. And if you were ever wondering if it was very easy to fish backwards on a kayak, it is not. I think... Oh, yep, that's... Nope, that's a stump. I thought it was an alligator. I fished another half mile on the way back, but never caught a single thing, not even a bluegill, which is kind of crazy. Maybe I need to come back out here and target him again, but I decided to do some bank fishing before I left, just in case there was a fish hanging out near the bank. The water's a little bit different here. Usually there's a whole bunch of junk in the way, but it seems like it might be a decent time for fishing this area. This big grass patch used to be right there. That's what it is. And now it looks like it's kind of gone to this side, which created a little isolated pool right here. That might be good if I could get my lure straight. Ah, what'd we get? Bluegill. Look at that, whole thing in his mouth. Usually don't see that from a bluegill. Pretty colors, oh my gosh. That bronze color in the sunlight with those little orange spots on it is gorgeous. There's our bluegill, we're gonna release him. Even though the fish weren't biting, I knew I needed to get a few more bait fish, so I decided to use the rest of my time and my phone battery to do that. All right, I have been fishing for about 5 hours now. My phone's almost dead. So what we're gonna do is use this net, scoop up some of those minnows, and bring them home. Because honestly, I don't think we're catching a pickerel right now. We'll have to come back out in the evening, maybe to a different location, and see if we can catch one there. But like I said before, these things are rare. And in my case, they're just about impossible to catch. But I see a whole bunch of minnows down here. We're gonna scoop that up. That'll be nice bass food. And we'll get a move on. See a bunch right here. I'm gonna try and not get those topwater plants. Oh, I got some rocks, but look at all of those. There's some big ones. Definitely got them, but I got a whole lot of extra too. Oh yeah, look at that short stubby one right there. We got quite a few. Looks like a few different species maybe, but that'll be perfect for the pool pond. Plenty of food. Nice. A few, not as much as this last scoop, but we also got a lot less plants to dig through, so that's good. Holy cow. As I just walked up, there was an alligator laying on the bank, and I didn't even know it. He just took off. You can see the bubbles. Oh man, I didn't even see him. Jeez, let me tell you, you know it's hot when the alligators are hiding in the shade. You can see where he had kicked up roots running into that water. Oh my gosh. I've been trying to conserve batteries, so I haven't been recording this whole time. There he is. There's the fella. Sorry I gave you a little fright there, sir. He's not small, but he ain't big. He's probably about 6 foot. Scared the mess out of me, though. Well, dragonflies are supposed to mean good luck. So maybe now we'll catch something better. The dragonfly was in fact not good luck. We went ahead and packed everything up and went back to the house to feed the bass and to release Storm Jr. into his new home. All right, we have Storm Jr. We're gonna release him. Make sure he does well. There he goes. The other bass kind of checking him out, but none of them are aggressive towards him. He's probably gonna explore around a little bit, try and figure out what's going on, and then I'm sure we'll be seeing him eating in no time. Now, as for all of the minnows, we're actually gonna release those with some underwater footage so we can see all the fish attacking them. And yes, we are gonna replenish our stock of ones that live in here, but let's be honest, most of these that we add today are probably just gonna get eaten. Now, the storm from the day before got the water all stirred up, so that's why it's a little bit more foggy, but all these fish were chasing down the minnows. It was the bass, the bluegill, the red spots, all of them were having an absolute feast. If you look here, Pickle was absolutely on the prowl, darting around back and forth, and Hog was chasing along with him just to see if he could get some too. Unfortunately for these fish, it was an absolute bloodbath, and the bass were coming around all over the place, scooping them up like nothing. Surprisingly, a good few of them actually survived, and I saw them on the other side of the pool pond later on, so that doesn't mean that all of them got eaten up, but a good portion of them did. Some of the minnows were really smart, and they stayed right next to me so the bass wouldn't get them, and that was a good move because the bass weren't quite comfortable enough to come right next to my hand to eat, but man, they were chasing these guys as soon as they got out of range. When all was said and done, I had a whole bunch of very happy, well-fed fish, but I still did have quite a few of these minnows that managed to survive, and I found them on the far side of the pool pond. But before we go out pickerel fishing again, let's go check that trap that we set for the Amphiuma and see if that one ended up going in the trap. Oh man, I'm not seeing it yet. Might be a bad news. Dang. He was smelling it last night, so I thought he might come in. I'm gonna toss it a little bit deeper. I am gonna get these two fat minnows out, but then I'm gonna throw this back a little bit deeper and see if we can catch him tonight. Dang it. I was so confident that he was gonna get in it. When I threw in the minnow, I had no idea about the battle that was about to happen between all these different fish. At first, a bluegill came up to smack it, but he didn't get it. And then it went to another fish, and I'm just gonna shut up and let you guys watch it because it was crazy. But if you want to play a quick game, take a guess right now as to which fish will actually end up with the minnow. Now, if you pick the bluegill, don't be celebrating just yet because Hog over here is about to pull a fast one. As soon as the bluegill spat it out to grab it again, he slurped it right up. The second minnow's fate wasn't quite as glorious. He just got slurped up by a red spot, which swam off with him. Jeez, even with the big old minnows, those red spots and those bluegill, they are so much faster than these bass. And that bass is getting a little upset at the other one because he keeps not getting enough food. But that's okay. We're going to maybe get some shiners tomorrow and feed them all that way. But man, I can't even keep up with these fish appetite. It's crazy. If I want to have a good bait population, they've got to have places to hide, so I'm working on adding a lot of new structures. This right here is a little birdhouse that I'm repurposing as an underwater bait structure. I'll later find out that cedar wood is actually not great to put in aquariums, and even though I think this is not enough to really hurt the pond, I'm going to be taking it out later. At this point in the video, I just didn't know. At this point, the fish are really loving their new environment. There's plenty of plants, plenty of cover, but I am going to still be adding a little bit more. If you look here, the lotus are still branching out and our lily pads are doing great. They've even breached up to the surface and they are thriving. Keeping with the natural decorations, I found this apple snail shell. Don't worry, there's no apple snail in it. These guys are incredibly invasive, but this was just a shell I found on the land. So I'm putting that in here. I had to shake out some of the bubbles so it'd sit right. I think it just looks right in this little environment. On top of that, I'm also taking all those plants that we got while we were pickerel fishing, and I'm going to be placing them around the fish caves and in the middle of the pond. Some of you guys suggested that the fish cave was staying abandoned because it didn't have any cover next to it, so that's what we're addressing with this. I put a whole bunch of this plant, which I'm not sure what this plant is called, if one of you guys could let me know in the comments down below, but it's really pretty and it looks kind of similar to hornwort, and once the cave was fully done, the fish were really loving it. If you have any suggestions, make sure you pop them in the comments. You might just find it in the next video. I'm also going to put some of this on the other rock cave. I think that just this little bit of plant material is going to make so much of a difference. I mean, just looking at it afterwards, it looks so much more comfy and cozy for these fish. And as I went to go get some more stuff, I ran across a crazy critter. Ooh, look at what we got here. We've got a beautiful speckled king snake. He's a little bit upset with me, doesn't want me getting any closer. This is a gorgeous snake, acting all tough. He flattens his head out to look venomous. He also shakes his tail to imitate like a rattlesnake or something. We love these ones. They actually eat the venomous snakes and other things like that. Such a beautiful, beautiful snake though. We're gonna let him go when he's comfortable. Gorgeous snake. He was just basking out here in the sun. You ever see one of these? They've got those little yellow spots on them. Let him be. He'll eat your other snakes. So even if you're not a snake person, this is a good one. Let him hang around. Let's see if he'll... Ooh, there he goes. But let me see if I can get him. Ooh. Oh, he slipped away from me. I was gonna gently grab him, but we don't want to stress him out too much. I want him to feel comfortable around here. But yep, he was just out here basking in that short grass, and now he's gone. Another beautiful little reptile. This is a green anole lizard. This is a little baby one. We're gonna go ahead and feed him to the bass. I'm just kidding. I would not do that to such a little sweet lizard. We're gonna release him. Oh, there he goes. Bye-bye, little fella. Take it easy. This next item is another one that you guys suggested. Okay, this is actually not for the fish. I mean, it does provide a little bit of cover and shade for the fish, but this is actually for the birds to be able to come and land on it. And we can catch some crickets and put them in there. And when the crickets jump out, it'll be a portable fish feeding platform. So I think that's gonna be really cool. The next thing I did, and it kind of floated away from me, but I put a little bit of a pool noodle in there so that it stays floating a little bit higher for that turtle. A problem I came into whenever I had it attached to the ladder is that it would dip a little too much into the water, so his belly was always dragging in the water. I do know that he can still climb that high onto it. If you've never seen a turtle climb, they're pretty good climbers, surprisingly. But he'll be able to get up on there, stay nice and in the sun and away from all that water and all those fish. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to catch him on camera. Every time that I've come out here, he started to bask a little bit on those plants instead, and he never lets me see him. And so I'm trying to work with him. I'm trying to teach him that I have food, but I can never get him out here even close enough to me to show him that I have food. So that's the problem we've been having. Hopefully it'll get resolved in a little while. I also set up this hummingbird feeder. Eventually I might find a way to put it in the pool pond. I'm just not sure how to implement that. I was thinking about potentially having it mounted onto like that stump that's sticking out of the water, but I'm not sure how well that would work. It's also a little bit crooked, so I don't know if that's gonna make a difference. Or maybe even putting it on a floating platform. But I'm afraid if I put it on a floating platform that maybe the hummingbirds won't go to it because it'll be moving. So y'all let me know your best suggestions in the comments down below of how we could get that hummingbird feeder somewhere around this pool pond. Also, as far as the other plants that we've added, so we added these in the last episode and they're doing great now. And the ones that we have over there in the shade cloth, they're doing really well too. Now we added these in the last video, and so if y'all want to see me add those, it was just a short little clip in that last video. And then over here, as you'll see in the underwater footage, I put some of those plants we gathered today around this. I want this to kind of be a good little spot for the bait fish to go. Right now, the only place the bait fish feel comfortable is right there in the middle. And there's plenty of them. I mean, I can see some right now. They're swimming around all in that little area. But I want them to be comfortable going all around here. So I put that bait box in there. That has this hole that's big enough for all the minnows, shrimp, crawfish, whatever to go in there. But none of the bluegill, bass, or any of those predator fish can actually make their way into it. The next order of business is going to be to go out and get some crickets to feed these fish and to do a little bit of fishing on the way to see if we can catch that pickerel or a gar. All right, I've caught some alligator gar out here before, itty bitty ones. Actually, this is where we caught Jaws from. So if you've seen the videos with him in the front yard pond, Jaws is our alligator gar. He's gotten a lot bigger. Oh, there's a gar right there. But he was caught right underneath this bridge. Actually, probably right about there. And maybe a little closer to the left. Ooh. Oh, we got a fish. We got a fish. Ah, dang it, a bass. I mean, it's cool to catch a bass, but not what we're after. Beautiful little bass. But he's not our gar or pickerel or whatever else. He hit it as soon as I hit the water, and I didn't realize it. And it wasn't until I started reeling that he really started to fight. But that's a good sign. It means the fish are active. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can catch us some other fish. Hopefully an alligator gar or a pickerel. Please, a pickerel. That would be awesome. It would indeed be nice to catch us a gar. Oh, there we go. Beautiful red spot. We got plenty of these. Like I said, this spot's got lots of different species of fish. Oh, look at the green on the fins. Super beautiful fish, but just not what we're after. Man, gorgeous fish. We'll go back out one more day tomorrow to try and catch a pickerel. Oh, another bass. Smacked it right next to the bank. Golly. Woo. Again, huge thank you to Scott, Genevieve, Ripley, and Remington for these awesome soft plastics. You guys need to try out this thing. Put it on like a beetle spin. It works so much better than by itself. So it's a little upgrade if you want to test that out. There's those lures that Scott had sent me. But man, they tear up the bass. May not be a giant, but it sure puts in the work. Well, it would appear we have an audience today. Hopefully I don't disappoint them too much. They're already walking away from me. Oop. Saw them come up and grab it. The problem with those red spots is they'll either tear up the tails or they'll pull it like this and get the lures all messed up. So I might have to either see if I can puncture it out to the other side. There we go, that'll work. It's not ideal, but I don't want to go back to the car right now. Last cast here, and then we're just gonna have to, I guess, go to our next and final spot for today. It's some tough fishing right now when it comes to our target species. Probably gonna get hit with another bluegill. Yep, red spot. Oh, another gorgeous red-spotted sunfish. Oh, there he goes. We'll go out on the kayak this evening once it gets a little bit cooler. And I don't know, man, it's looking slimmer and slimmer chances of catching a pickerel. Okay, here's a bag, But this bag isn't just any kind of bag. It is a bag full of crickets. I'm gonna dump some of these here. And by some, I mean probably most of them. And when they start to swim out in the water, the fish are gonna start going nuts for them. Look at that. That one got eaten. Oh my goodness, even the bass is coming out and getting some. Someone had the idea of a cricket island. Oh, they're getting them off the side of the island. Oh, I wish I could have got that. The seeds in there will actually sustain the crickets too. You can see some of the crickets are actually grabbing them and eating them. But when they get too close to get water, like that, the fish will come up and grab them. Oh, watch. Oh, got him. Now, I can't quite remember if this was a suggestion in the comments of the last video or on a live stream, but this was my favorite project that I did in the pool pond so far because of the absolute chaos that came afterwards. I mean, there were crickets getting eaten, getting flung across the little plate. If you look here in just a second, one of these guys gets absolutely launched over. Also, the crickets add a little bit of diversity to their diet. That way, they're not just eating pellets or shiners or minnows or whatever. They're getting a very diverse diet. Okay, this was an awesome idea. I don't remember who suggested it. It might have been in a live stream. It might have been in a video, but this is awesome. So I did find out after doing a little bit of research that cedar wood is bad for ponds. So I'm gonna have to replace this cedar wood frame with something else. And I'm gonna have to take out that little house that we sunk over there because it's cedar wood. Now, I don't think this amount of cedar wood would have that bad of an effect, but still, I'd rather have some wood that's gonna be good for my fish rather than worrying about having some tannins and all these other things that could be potentially hazardous for the fish. So we're gonna change all of that later. For now, it should be fine floating for at least a day or two, at least till this video comes out. And we'll be able to have some awesome feeding with all these crickets. I wanna see if the bass comes up and eats one. Oh, come on, bass. Come on, bass. You gotta beat out these, Oh, man. See, I'm trying to get the bass one, but those bluegill and sunfish are merciless. Look at that. That's crazy. Come on, bass. Come on, bass. You see him. You see him. You see him. You see him. Come on. Nope. Bluegill. Oh. I think they're starting to get full. Let me try to sink it down a little further. Have it maybe deeper in the water. Nope. Red spot got him. Okay, well, there's our little cricket colony for now. I'm going to let this thing kind of scoot into the shade. Oh, that's just going to end up pushing in the middle. Well, if the crickets need water, they're going to have to brave the fish. And I guess that's just going to be where the island stays for now. Oh, we got a straggler. We got a straggler. Will he make it? Nope. He ain't making it. I don't remember whose idea that was, but that was an awesome idea. Now, if you look real closely, they're actually eating the seeds. So they have seeds to eat. They have water all around them. So that can basically be a sustainable cricket farm. Now, I don't think they're going to last long enough to be able to breed, not with all these sharks in the water. But I do think that that's a really cool idea. Once we get a different frame built, I think I might even try to make a floating cricket farm where they have a place to breed, and then every once in a while some can fall off, but where it's like actually sustainable. I think it'd be a really cool project, maybe for the next video or the video after that. But for now, this is definitely probably the coolest part of this video, in my opinion. If we can catch a pickerel, that'll top it. But for right now, that was like a really cool thing. With our fish well fed, it's time to head back out to try and do some more pickerel fishing. All right, we're at a new location. I already spotted our first little alligator friend, probably about a 4-footer, not too big. Ooh, look at him go. Showing off for the camera. Appreciate that, buddy. Just cruising along. Well, gator or not, we gonna catch us a pickerel, hopefully. This video is long enough, so I'm just going to cut to the chase. I used several different lures in several different locations and didn't catch anything. Well, our little alligator friend was waiting on us to come back. Well, sorry, buddy, we didn't catch any fish for you. As the sun was setting, I went ahead and cast out a line just to see if we could catch a catfish or a gar. Well, we got the alligator right there. I'm going to try and cast this thing out as far away as possible from him. Hopefully he doesn't go and mess with it. It's going to be off the bottom. I don't have it with a bobber specifically because of that alligator. But we'll set this thing right here. And let's get stuff packed up. And once everything's packed up, I'll reel this in whether or not we've got a fish. You better stay away from my line, Mr. Alligator. He's getting a little too close to it. No, come on. What's he gonna do? Oh no. Okay, it just slid under him. Okay. He didn't catch on my line. We're good. He's kind of been very curious watching me. So I wonder if there's been anybody who's been trying to feed him or something. A lot of times they'll get curious if people have been feeding them, which you're not supposed to do in Louisiana. I didn't catch anything, so I went out the next morning and checked the trap and didn't have anything but a couple crawfish, which I used to just bait the trap back up into the water. I also threw out a slightly bigger trap into the front yard pond later in the evening just to see if we could catch one of the gar that we released from the old pool pond. All right, let's see if we got our gar. I hear something splashing around. A few somethings. No way! We caught an amphiuma in this trap. I didn't even know they were in the front yard pond. Heck yeah! I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, that's awesome. We also caught a bunch of little baby bluegill, but we'll keep them in there as well. And it looks like we've got a goggle eye in there as well. Oh, no, it escaped. No. Where is it? It slipped out. No shot. It escaped. There must be a hole in here somewhere. Dang it. No. It just slipped into the grass somewhere. Dang it. That is painful. There's a mullet right there. Oh, we caught the mullet. That's a big old mullet in here. Oof, dragonfly flying on me. We're gonna release him back out. That's not what we're after. Man, dude, I thought for sure we'd catch that gar. I've seen them. There's 3 different gar in here. 3 or 4. One of them's the alligator gar. That's Jaws. We're leaving him in here. The others are not. Man, I am so upset that I missed that fish, or that amphiuma. Oh, man. Well, I guess I'm going to leave this trap overnight for the rest of the night. Maybe he's dumb enough to go back in, but I doubt it. Ah, so frustrating. I just watched him slip. After fumbling one of the creatures that takes the longest to catch, I was a little bit discouraged, but hopeful that there would be one in the creek. Okay, moment of truth. Have we caught our amphiuma? Do we get a second chance? I don't see anything in the trap. Oh, wow. We actually caught a whole bunch of really big minnows, but nothing else. We might have really blown our chances by dropping that one earlier. God, I'm not going to stop thinking about that. There's one right here. I don't know if he's going to go in the net. He's in the net. He's in the net. We got him. Holy cow! Okay, we caught one. We caught one. We got to put him in this container quick. I think I'm gonna, oh! Okay, I've got to keep this up and also zip this. If I can get him to willingly crawl into this container, I cannot miss this up. Oh, we did it. We did it. We captured an amphiuma. Oh, we didn't even need the trap. We got it in my hand. Oh my gosh. And that was a big one too. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up with water now so it doesn't dry out. That's the cool thing about this container. I can fill it without having to open it and risk escape, and it blocks out a lot of that debris. So we got water in here now. He should be nice and good for the trip back up to the house. Honestly, I'm just gonna release these minnows because I don't wanna risk opening this and this guy crawling out. On second thought, those are some big minnows, so I'm gonna just barely crack this open and drop them in. There we go. All right, let's pack things up and go up and release it into the pool pond. All right, it's been a couple minutes. We got back up to the house. Let me drain all this water out. I don't want that muddy nastiness in the actual pool pond itself. Oh, I feel him wiggling around in there. This is gonna be awesome. There he goes. Oh, there he is. Oh, now, we didn't get to see a whole lot. Where'd he go? We didn't get to see a whole lot of the amphiuma that we had released into the other pool pond, but we had named that one Leviathan. And that was like my favorite name that we got for any of the fish. He must be either tucked up here or that sucker took off. I don't see him anywhere. He's somewhere in the pool pond though. Oh, there he is. Look at that. Looks like a little eel or a little sea monster. So I think Leviathan is the perfect name. He is scooting. There he is. He's coming back around. He's making his rounds. The cool thing is these guys will eat crawfish. I think they'll also eat some bluegill and stuff like that. So we'll have to add a ton of those in the next episode. I'm kind of running out of time. I think it's probably already past the hour mark. So we're not going to add anything else except for the gar tomorrow for this video. And then we'll get some final underwater footage. In the next video, we're going to be getting a ton of bait to see if we can get to this Amphiuma eating on camera. Look at this guy. He's crazy cool looking. And for those of you who might be worried about him not having a platform, we have the turtle platform he can crawl onto. And these plants are buoyant enough to where they can support his weight so he can hide up there as well. But I think it'd be pretty cool if we even made a floating house for him in the next episode. So y'all give me some ideas for that in the comments down below. He seems to really like sticking to the edge. I think he's kind of getting a scope of his surroundings. But once he discovers that middle brush pile, I think he's really going to like that. So this is going to be really cool. They like to burrow around in the mud, kind of like we found him. So I think this guy is going to be an awesome, like insane addition to the pool pond. Seeing this guy swimming around in the pool pond made everything worth it. All those days that I tried catching them were finally paying off. But we still have to catch that front yard gar, so we're going to go back out there and set that trap. But first, I came back out a few hours later to check on the Amphiuma and make sure he's feeling good. It's been a few hours and you can see the Amphiuma has taken up that middle section just like I thought he would. He kind of got spooked as I shined the light on him. He's very sneaky. I didn't even see him there for a good little while. I was searching all around the sides. But this guy is awesome. Probably my new favorite creature in the pool pond. The next morning, I went out to the pool pond and got to see a bass eat a minnow, but then we went out to the front yard pond to double check and see if we finally caught that gar. Okay, last time that we can check it to see if we have our gar. I don't see, oh, I think we got one. Yes, okay, we finally got a gar. Goodness gracious, it actually took longer for us to catch this gar than it did to catch the Amphiuma. Let's go ahead and get this guy out before he bakes in the sun and go release him into the pool pond. All right, let's let him in. The other fish are kind of checking him out. And there he goes. All right, guys, well, it's time for us to get our final underwater footage for this video. If y'all have any suggestions, make sure you tell me in the comments down below. That way we can implement it in the next pool pond video. As I got down into the water, the first thing I wanted to do was find that Amphiuma, so I searched around all of the common hiding places, but I didn't see him. But like Ninja the Turtle, these guys are super elusive and they could be hiding right under your nose and you never see them. One good thing though is that all these plants that I put around the rocks are doing really well and it really ties everything together. At this point, it seems like everything is perfectly balanced between the plants, the animals, the microorganisms, and everything that we have in this pool pond. But this project is very far from over. We've got plenty of new stuff that we want to add in future videos, as well as continuous updates on this pool pond, so I need you guys to make sure you tell me what you'd like to see in the next pool pond video. I also want to take a moment and thank every single one of you guys who are subscribed to the channel. We just hit 25,000 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. All of you guys make every video that I make possible, because without you guys, none of this would ever have been able to happen. And if you're not subscribed yet, I hope this video earns your subscription. Now, I know the Amphiuma is somewhere in this pool pond because there's no way he could have escaped, but I couldn't find him anywhere. My guess is he's probably tangled up somewhere in the grass where I can't see him. And today's scripture that spoke to me says, "Be glad in the Lord always. Again I say, be glad. Let your gentleness show in your treatment of all people. The Lord is near. Don't be anxious about anything. Rather bring up all of your requests to God in your prayers and petitions, along with giving thanks. Then the peace of God that exceeds all understanding will keep your hearts and minds safe in Christ Jesus." And that's Philippians 4, verses 4 through 7. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. And as always, guys, Jesus loves you, I love you, and have a great day. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video, and y'all make sure to use my link to get those exclusive rewards.